So I had lunch today with a really good friend of mine. She is a field hockey coach, and we got into talking about how there are really like these two types of mindsets that people embody. And we were talking about it in the perspective of coaching, but this completely applies to any high performer, especially athletes. And I wanted to share a bit of what we talked about. So we're talking about how there's two types of coaches generally. There's the type of coach who embodies this growth mindset. They are the kind of coach who is constantly learning about new approaches, learning about new concepts. They're always learning about their sport, getting new perspectives from other coaches, and just always learning new ways of just being better and coaching better. But the thing I want to really emphasize is that these kinds of coaches are working on themselves. They embody the growth mindset within themselves. So they are asking themselves, how can I be a better communicator? How can I be better? They're working to grow. On the other hand, there are types of coaches that are just really in this fixed mindset. They have figured out their style of coaching. They've figured out, drills that work for them. And they've pretty much just embodied this mindset of what I do works and it's my way or the highway. And I want to talk about these two groups of mindsets as a whole because the fixed mindset is dangerous. It's dangerous because essentially when you are embodying a fixed mindset, you're basically saying, I really am not serious about my own growth. I'm really not serious about my success because I don't care to learn more. I don't care to be better. I don't care to evolve. What I'm doing, I'm just going to stick with, and it's going to somehow keep working, even though most other high performers, people that are really serious about their goals, are constantly learning, constantly growing. And that's why I always say that a key component to being a champion and just embodying a champion's mentality is the growth mindset, because the growth mindset is the mindset of I'm always learning, I'm always growing, and I'm always looking for new ways to evolve. If you're an athlete, if you're a coach, if you're a leader, if you're a teammate who embodies a growth mindset, not just in your sport, but in life, you're going to continue to up level. You're going to continue to improve. You're going to continue to learn, and that's going to continuously bring you closer to your goal. The growth mindset is like the train to getting to the top of the mountain, which is winning a championship, which is success. Right? When you embody a growth mindset, you are essentially saying, I am willing to learn and be better and grow. And when you embody that mindset, you literally become unstoppable because you are constantly open to new feedback, open to new ideas, open to improving and just being a better athlete, coach, leader, teammate. So growth mindset versus fixed mindset, get out of the fixed mindset. And you might notice in aspects of your life, maybe you are embodying the fixed mindset, but as a whole, you're embodying the growth mindset. Ask yourself, how can I embody a growth mindset in those areas of my life? So I'm going to drop some questions that you can ask yourself in the comments or in the description so that you can continue to develop and strengthen your own growth mindset. Because when you embody a growth mindset, you are basically saying, I'm serious about my goals and I am willing to do what it takes to continue to improve. And it's allowing you to continue to up level and bring you one step closer to your goals every day.